I can tell you in being in the ring with both of those guys, Derrick Lewis hits as hard on the ground. And you know, we've done studies with punches and elbows and hammer fist, and people have no concept how hard a hammer fist actually lands. The amount of torque and pounds per square inch of pressure that it creates. And I've never seen anyone on the ground that hits harder than Derrick Lewis. Derrick Lewis, when he gets you on the ground, starts opening up with shots, man, you can hear him land, and you can feel the impact, and you go, oh. And he landed, he did good in the first round. I would have given the first round to Oleinik because he did have the Kezikatami. He had the neck crank. That neck crank was tight. It was hurting. It was keeping Derrick from being able to breathe. Okay. I give Derrick credit that oh yeah, trust me. He even said it. I couldn't breathe. What does that mean to you?
It means that his face was in his armpit. That's what it means. Sometimes, like you get the little chubby part of the arm gets in
you're trying to say he didn't want to breathe.
No, I wouldn't want to breathe either.
If you get a guy that understands how to apply that crank from Kezikatami and you allow your back to get flat on the mat, it's painful. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so, he had the closest that you would say towards going towards the finish in the fight. But, that little finishing in the first 21 seconds by Derrick Lewis, that's what he does. When he hurts you, he finishes guys fast.
Oh, yeah.
And then, he says he's going to, he's getting in better shape. I love the fact that he will go for flying knees. He's athletic.
Oh, yes.
People look at him and you think, oh, he's not an athlete. He is a good athlete because he's fast.
Yeah.
For a big man, he can move. And, he jumps around trying to land flying knees and stuff. That's a whole lot of weight coming in on you when it jumps. So, if he gets down to 250, I don't think he's going to lose a whole lot in power and stuff, but I think he's going to feel so much better and feel like he can go in a fight. Because I will give him credit for a lot of it. He got caught in transitions where he didn't understand how to stop what Oleinik was doing. Okay. And he got caught being, taken out of it, but he got himself out a couple times too. Yeah. And so he's showing improvement even with his ground and the understanding of his hip position and the balance points and where he needs to post his hand. It's all coming, just going to take some time.
He just seems physically stronger than almost any guy he fights.
I think he is.
He's just the way he flung Oleinik off of him, there was one, he just threw him. I'm all, what in the fuck?
Just tossed him like he was a Frisbee.
Yeah. I was like, wow. It looks like he is getting in better shape. He wasn't huffing and puffing, putting his hands on his knees at the end of the first round after being squeezed to death. I used to train with this guy named Ray Roth. He was the NC2A national champ. I want to say once or twice. I can't remember. Anyways, he used to do the same exact move. I don't know what you call it, the Kugigami place, whatever.
Kezikatami.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Scarfold. How's that? Does that make it better for you?
Basically,
that's why you're not going to name those things on broadcast.
He gives him I just call it the head and arm, and he gives him the head and arm squeeze. We just call it the Ray Roth squeeze. But anyways, he would just get in that head and arm position, and he would just kind of tilt back and squeeze the head. In wrestling matches, guys would just be they would try to put their shoulders on the ground so they could breathe. Yeah. And then he did it in MMA fights. I want to say he won probably, I think out of his 7 or 8 fights, he probably won 5 of them by that squeeze. One guy shit himself. So I'm not kidding you. He squeezed him so hard. And the shittiest part, no pun intended, is the guy was wearing white shorts. He had to slide out. He had to slide out of the ring, kind of sideways, and then just kind of ran to the back area. Yeah, I felt kind of bad for the guy. But yeah, that was his move. And I was watching it tonight. I'm like, it's kind of hard to get, I think, on a guy that's that much physically stronger than you. Because all he's got to really do is frame away your face, right? And then try to kind of turn your hips a little bit to get some breath.
As you know, there are certain people, everyone's got a different squeeze pressure.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that Oleinik he's got a squeeze. Alexei, when it comes to understanding how to get that squeeze and when he applies it, I think, in fact, Paul Felder was talking about it when Dan Hardy allowed him to put the Ezekiel on it.
Mm-hmm.
He about put Dan Hardy's trachea through the back of his neck. Dan's also, tapping, and you go, that's the kind of squeeze that some people have.
It's true.
And everybody's got a different one. And you all of a sudden you'll read, and you can see when Alexi is applying that scarf hold and he's going for that crank, see how his hips are not on the ground. He's utilizing his legs to create another point of pressure. Man, that dude's, I can tell you, when he fought Travis Brown, I went to break his squeeze and it was like, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he was squeezing him so hard I had to yank to get his hand off of his other hand. Man. He's strong, and technically in that submission game he's good.
Where does Derrick go from here?
They made one comment. I like Brendan Fitzgerald. He said he's the biggest puncher in the UFC. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Maybe on the ground he is, but you forgot this guy named Francis. Okay. That's your biggest puncher. That's the guy that puts everybody out, standing up and everything. But he's right. He's one of the biggest punchers, and he's one of the best. I don't want to say prospects for the heavyweight division because he's not a prospect, but people like watching Derrick Lewis. They like his personality. They like the way he fights. He is absolutely going to be there for a while, and he's a star. But if he does what he's talking about doing, about getting in better shape, taking care of his body better, and like you said, getting down around 250, I think he's going to be hard to beat. If he can learn a little bit better wrestling defense, a little bit more in the wrestling. There you go. I mean, here's the thing with the guy that has that much power, and then when they're not as concerned about being tired, that's scary. I mean, you see it all the time. Francis Ngannou, now that he is not as afraid to get tired like he did in the Stipe fight, once he's not afraid to get tired, he's going to be nasty. I mean, he's already nasty, but I'm saying that's what you have to deal with. And now if you have Derrick Lewis get in a little bit better shape, get his weight down, and not be as afraid to get tired, oh man, the sky's the limit for both those guys. I mean, Francis been waiting around for a title shot forever because DC be fucking holding up the heavyweight division and shit. But that's settled next week. So
yeah, we'll get on with that. And then, but I mean, outside of that, it's hard because Curtis Blades, I mean, the wrestling, I think would probably end up beating Derrick.
That's a hard matchup when you look at it. But I mean, I'd like to see Derrick Lewis and Francis Ngannou go again, but then I know Francis, he's already. No, I don't want to see that again. That was horrible. I know it was bad. I get it, but I think they're both different people now. You would have thought it was going to be just a barn burner. Nope. Nah. Has Derrick fought Rosenstrike? No. That might be a fight. Then maybe Rosenstruck. Yeah. That might be a fight leading up to it. But look, but he's fighting next week. Is he? Yeah, Rosenstruck is fighting. He just got knocked out by the undercard. He got knocked out by Ngannou. Yeah, that was a while back though. But yeah, he did. Look, Derrick Lewis is a star. I don't care how you put it or whatever. He's a star. He's just, people love his energy. They love his charisma about him. He's just got a smile. Did you hear him in his interview? No. He gets the headset on. They put the headset on, and I gotta go take a shit. I love it. That's why he gets out of there. I mean, I'm excited to see where they put him in that whole next conversation. DC and Stipe fight next week.
100% agree. Okay.